of your computer, you can go to liveonedream.info. That is liveonedream.info and see exactly what it is that we will be going over tonight. Thank you guys for joining us this Saturday evening on our live mindset training. I do this maybe once a month. It's been a while since the last one. I think it was the beginning of June or so. But every now and then we do this, and I have actually been looking forward to tonight's mindset training, and I didn't know exactly until this point which direction we were going to go over tonight with the mindset training. One thing about mindset training, it's really based on your own experiences. And over the years, I know people say all the time, Brandon, I see you do mindset training all the time. I saw a video from 2 years ago. But I tell them, it's not the same. It may be the same topic, but the experiences that I've had over the past 2 years are vastly different today than before. Same with you guys. You ever heard that old saying, you can read a book 5 years ago and read the same book today and you get something completely different from it. So this isn't something that you do just one time. This is something that you always have to go back over and over and over again. Not a day goes by that I don't feed my mind with something. Like Jim Rohn said at the end of his life, he's still learning. Still learning after 40 years of public service, 40 years of travel. I had the privilege of finding an old Jim Rohn recording from like 1975, 76, when I was born. And listening to him, and he sounds like he has a little bit more energy into him, but he was saying the same thing, but it was just a little bit different because of his life experience 20 years, 30 years later than when he first taught on that topic. But first of all, pat yourselves on the back. We're taking time out of your Saturday evening to hear about this type of a training. This is a generic training. This is not about a business. This is not about even business in general. This information will stick with you for the rest of your life. It will help you in anything that you do. I learned this information years ago. 21 years old, one of my first company, which was called ACN back in the day, from individuals who taught me that information that they learned from somebody else. So I say right off the bat that this isn't Brandon Ivy knowledge. Okay? This isn't anything that I've made up. I'm always teaching on things that I was taught from my own perspective. Now, one thing that was a major event that just happened for me recently is I just celebrated a birthday about a week and a half ago. My 37th birthday. And when you have a birthday, sometimes you look on life a little different. You have self-reflection. Where you are today. Have you accomplished the goals that you set forth for yourself? Where do you see yourselves in the future? I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis because I only turned 37 years old, but I really had a deep reflection on my life, and I was very grateful and sad at the same time, if you can believe that. I celebrated 1 year retirement. I've been retired before, and retiring a second time around, you don't squander it like you did the first time. You have a little bit more respect for it. And I've been reflecting on my own life. Also the realization that in 13 years I'll be 50 years old, and that's scary. But here's one main important thing, that when the mind is right, the facts don't matter. What do you mean by that? There's a gentleman that comes out to our meetings out here in Los Angeles. He's 72 years old, named Raul. And he has more energy. And he does more throughout his day than I do at 37. And he's 72. See, when the mind is right, the facts don't matter. I heard that from Zig Ziglar. Heard that from Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, John C. Maxwell. Even Earl Nightingale says, the strangest secret is that whatever you think about, you become. And then I read a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And then he says that success is not doing certain things, but in doing things in a certain way. It's all on how you perceive reality. And I hope I'm not losing people so far here. Stay with me. We just had a major event happen, or depending on who you talk to, whether it's a major event, but it's major news different eyes, different perceptions, different prisms. And that shapes their reality. Because at the end of the day, when the mind is right, the facts don't matter. And that's how you're viewing life right now. You have to look at where you are today. Where you are today is the sum result of every decision you've made in your life until this point, including your bank accounts. Every decision you've made in life, including your bank account. So if you're not satisfied, if you're not happy with where you are right now, before you point the finger at anything else that's going on in your life, this person didn't do this, that person didn't do that, the job's not paying me enough money, that person stabbed me in the back. The first thing you need to look at is your own mindset. How are you handling events that happen to you? What is your response to them? What are you doing differently today than you did yesterday? What is your attitude like? See, attitude is a little thing that makes not just a big difference, but a huge difference. Huge difference. I made a video just the other day where I talked about acquaintances of mine who experienced the same exact event that I did, and they chose to go one route while I chose to go another. There is no right or wrong in that. It's not that I was right and they were wrong, or that they were right and I was wrong. It's just a decision and a choice we made. Now there are results that happen from those decisions or those choices. And only in the future can we look in hindsight and say which one was a better choice. But it's an individual choice. But until you get your mind right, nothing you do in life is really going to have a great impact. You can do everything right, everything you're supposed to do, and still not get to where you want to be. Because your mind is not right. It took me a long time to understand this. I'm going to help you on this. You say, well, what do I do? What do I need to do to get my mind right? Well, the first thing you need to do is know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you spending a Saturday evening that you could be doing so many other things like so many other people are? I want to tell you something, pat yourself on the back here. But I remember when I was learning in this industry, and a millionaire mentor said they were doing a mindset training. Midnight boot camp training. His name was Byron Nelson, out here in Los Angeles, California. And a lot of people wanted to go to sleep. A lot of people wanted to go to the club. A lot of people wanted to go and party, hang out at the bar. And all I knew was, this guy has what I want. He is living the lifestyle that I want to live. And he is willing to teach on exactly how to get my mind right the way he got his right. There's no other place I'd rather be than right there in that room. Right there is where you separate yourself from most people. Most people say they want something, but most people are not willing to do the things necessary to get what they want. Here's a little hint. No matter what you decide, there's a price that must be paid. There's a cost to everything. It may be monetary, or it may be in time. Especially, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. And what separates the haves from the have-nots is those that actually step out of their comfort zone. And they do something that they've never done before so that they can have something that they've never had before. 97% of the people will never do this. See, it's easy getting rich in America. It's just easier being broke. So the first step is knowing your why. What is your desire? Now, a lot of people may say your desire is you want to spend more time with your family. You want to have a good college education for your kids. How about being able to buy a new home? Be debt-free. Have a family vacation. Give more to your church. Be able to retire. Buy new toys like a boat, car, RV. I just watched on the news today that the world's largest yacht was just built. The size of almost 2 football fields, going to some prince in Brunei or somewhere in the Middle East. Is there a need for something like that? No. desire that he had. And he made his desire a reality. But not even these can be strong enough, because every single person that you talk to on the street would say they wish they had these things. So let me help you take it a step further, especially for those of you on the East Coast who late at night. 10:15. And I'm warning you right now, I have no time limit on when this is going to end. I'll end when it ends. So if you have to leave for whatever reason, go right ahead. I'm just flowing with whatever comes out. But I'm going to give you a little bit of help. Before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about what it would be like if you had all the money in the world. What would you do with that money? Now, or better yet, not what would you do with the money, what would you do with your life? And this is after you already bought your first, second, and third home. You bought your grandma and your parents a home. You paid for your kids' college education and your extended family. You paid for their college education. You bought all the cars that you wanted. You went shopping everywhere you wanted to go. You traveled to New York and Beverly Hills. You even went to Paris to go shopping. You backpacked in the Himalayas. You traveled the world, visited all the beaches of the world. You tithed to your church. You helped out relatives and friends and family. And a year later, walking passing by, and Monday morning comes around and you open your eyes when you're finished sleeping, remembering that you don't have to get up and go to work on your job, that cubicle. And then you remember that you bought everything you already wanted. You start to think, what am I going to do with my day? You already bought everything. There's nothing on your wish list anymore. And you have more money in the bank account now than when you went on your shopping spree. What do you do with your life? See, this is where broke people are limited. Because they can't see past paying their bills, and even past paying their bills after they bought everything that they want. What would you do with your life? More importantly, how would it make you feel to be in that situation? I was listening to an old Jim Rome video earlier today. Yeah, I talked about Jim Rome a lot. He's my mentor. And he talked about Neil Armstrong, for example, where he built his whole life and career to go to the moon. And once he went to the moon and came back and had all the ticker parades and was paraded all over the world as a man who walked on the moon, then what? He went into deep depression because he never thought about life after he reached his goal. What would you do with your life after you have everything that you desire? Because life continues. What did God put you on this earth to do? But the biggest and most important part of this factor and this exercise is, how does it make you feel? I want you to feel it. I want you to trick your brain into believing that you already have it. I want you to trick your brain into believing it's already done. So your brain doesn't know that it's not a reality. Your brain only knows what you tell it to. Your brain only reacts to the feelings and emotions that you give it, the signals, how you feel. This is an important exercise that I wish I could go into even more in detail about. But just trust me on this. And the reason why you do it right before you go to sleep is because when you go to sleep, your brain doesn't sleep. Your brain continues to operate. You'll probably have a wonderful dream. You may not remember it in the morning, but you'll remember how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Much better than you would have normally. It's a very important step for you. Because once you can capture that feeling, this is what Tony Robbins always teaches on. Being able to change your physiology on demand. When you're feeling down throughout the day, all you have to do is think about that feeling of having everything that you desire. And you will instantly change your state. And it's important that you do, because however you're feeling is what you attract to. The law of attraction. That's why this is mindset. If you're feeling sad, you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, guess what you're going to attract to you? Sad, you're down, depression. And it happens to all of us. matter how much enlightened you think you are. But when that happens, because we're humans, we're not robots, you're able to recognize that it's happening to you and change your physiology. By knowing your why and your desire cannot be something that makes you cry. This is where I separate myself from even my former mentors, because they say your why needs to be strong enough to make you cry, right? Like a relative passes away on the other side of the country and you can't afford to travel there and you cry about it. Or you can't afford to buy your daughter that prom dress that she wants and you cry about it. It sounds good, right? But crying is not a motivational factor. What crying is an emotional release. It's an emotional release. And you feel better after you get it out. It's like when you're upset, you go to the gym, you work out, you got it out of your system. If crying was a motivational factor, then everybody would have what they want, because everybody cries about something. But crying does not get you off your butt to change your life. You ever heard of that old story about the kids who walked across the farmer's house? And the farmer had an old dog. And all the dog did was lay there and bitch and whine and moan about everything. And the kids say, you know, farmer, what is that dog whining about? And the farmer says, because he's laying on a nail. And the kids are like, well, why doesn't he just get up off that nail, move 3 inches to the left, and he'll be okay? And the farmer says, because it doesn't hurt bad enough. Isn't that how we go through life sometimes? We get comfortable with our pain. We're familiar with our pain. We would rather face the current pain we know than go through the unknown of getting outside of our comfort zone. A lot of us do that. I remember when I first got my job, a real job, my first job was a lifeguard, and that was the greatest job I've ever had. As a teenager, for obvious reasons. But when I had my first real job, and I had a bad day, and I remember coming home and my dad and my uncle were sitting there, and I was down. They're like, what are you so down about? I told them about my day, and they smiled and patted me on the back and said, welcome to the real world. You made it. I was like, wait a minute, is this what life's supposed to be about? I don't think so. Most people are comfortable in their pain. Are you comfortable in your pain right now? Are you comfortable in your current situation? Are you comfortable with your bank accounts? And if the answer is no, then the next question you need to ask yourself is, what are you currently doing about it? What are you doing to change your reality? First step to change your reality is that you must set goals for yourself, short-term and long-term, business and personal. When I joined my business, my short-term goal was to make $10,000 a month. I didn't think it was going to happen for another 7 to 8 months, and it happened today. I made a short-term goal. What's your long-term goal? My long-term goal, and back in the day, was I wanted to be a millionaire by 35. It didn't happen. So I just reset my goals. I retired at 36. How many people can say that? Am I a millionaire yet? Not necessarily. I have $1 million company. But my next long-term goal is that before I get to the age of 40, I will be a multi-millionaire. So that gives me 3 years to make it happen. Understand that I don't have a short-term mindset. I don't think like McDonald's fast food. I need to have it right now. Everything you do, you need to think long-term. One thing that Jim Rohn says is, don't begin your day until you already have it finished. Meaning, the night before, have your goals set out for what you want to accomplish the next day. Then he says, don't begin your week until you have it finished. And then it starts to get a little bit harder. Don't begin your month until you have your month finished. Now I'm going to really stretch yourself. Don't begin your year until you have your year finished. How about 5 years down the road? Most people can't see past their next paycheck. So if you want more, you're going to have to stretch your vision. Stretch your goals. Put down some outlandish goals, not realistic goals. There's no such thing as realistic. If everybody thought of things being realistic, then nobody would ever achieve anything because somebody says it couldn't be done. Even if you fall short, you land amongst the stars. You guys have been quiet for an awfully long time. Type Y if you're still with me. I want to make sure I didn't lose anybody. So set your short-term and your long-term goals, what those goals are. It doesn't matter what company you are. You may have a different goal for your company. I'll tell you one thing, one short-term goal for you is to get to the 4-figure club as soon as possible. Isn't that right, Comma Club? I like that name, that title for the Comma Club. You're not calling yourself the Broke Club. The Comma Club. A long-term goal, walk off your job. Make more money in your business part-time and you make full-time on your job. Right now you have a story to tell. Let other people in your lives see the transformation that's taken place in you. A lot of you want to recruit your friends and family. And I'll tell you right now, your friends and family is not going to make you rich. It's not going to happen. So what you do is practice on them. If you want to save your friends and family, the first person you need to save is yourself. Think of yourself being on an airplane. And when turbulence happens, what do the air attendants tell you to do when the air masks drop down? They always say, put it on yourself before you put it on your child. Now, at first that looks kind of hard, right? What do you mean? I should save my kid. Well, if you're fumbling around trying to put it on your kid and you pass out, both of you die. But if you put it on yourself first, now you'll have all the air you need to save everybody else. That's very important. In fact, a good friend reminded me of that earlier tonight. It's not about saving the world. If you want to save the world, start with yourself and live as an example. And watch how fast your family will want to do what you're doing when they see a lifestyle change. Use them as practice. Let them know what you're doing. You give them the opportunity to say no. So that when you are a baller or living like a boss, they can't tell you that you never tried to help them out. If you can remind them that you did, and chances are they tried to talk you out of it. And they'll say, I'm so glad you didn't listen to me. Right? So make sure you set your short-term and long-term goals. The next thing you do is to realize that you have to have a certain expectation. In other words, manage your expectation. It takes time to grow anything. So you understand that where you are today is the sum result of everything decision you made, correct? And it's amazing to me how people will spend 30 to 35 years of their lives building up habits that have gotten them broke. And they finally wake up and decide that they need to do something different. So they join a home-based business. And they expect to become a millionaire in 30 days. And when that doesn't happen, they quit. How do you expect to change 35 years of bad habits in 30 days? Manage your expectations. You need to think like a business person. Brick and mortar business knows that when they start a business, it's going to take them 5 years before they become in profit. 5 years. Yet people in a home-based business think that they're going to make $10,000 in 30 days, and if they don't, it's the company's fault, it's their downline's fault, it's the rep's fault, it's always somebody else's fault, and the grass is greener somewhere else, so I'm going to sign up with another company. You need to make a long-term commitment, and I don't care what it is you're doing. I don't care what the company is. If you have skills, you will make money in everything that you do. It doesn't matter what it is. You can show me the worst company out there, and I'll show you somebody making 6 figures. You can show me the best company out there, and I'll show you somebody that's broke. It's not about the company. The company is just a vehicle. It's a vehicle. to water it, and then water it, and water it, and nothing happens for years. Then all of a sudden, it starts to sprout, and it turns into the fastest growing tree in the world. It just sprouts right up. But it took you years planting your seed. Are you willing to water the seed that you plant? Or are you going to plant 5, 6, 7 seeds all over the place and take the shotgun approach? And see which one starts to grow first. That's what most people do right now. Just open up your Facebook page and you see every 4 to 6 months you see the same people promoting another business and swearing that the new one that they're promoting now is the latest and greatest. And then they turn around and bash the one that they were already in promoting 5 months ago. They don't realize how foolish that makes them look. You're all over the place. Find something to stick with things. They're good and bad. That's a real question. Can you stick with it when things are not going your way? Are you willing to put the time through the good season and the bad season? That's why they say it takes network marketing at least 3 years before you have a solid footing. At least. The age of the internet has made people, what's the word? Spoiled. Since any joker with website skills can start his own business and create a nice looking website, nobody has to work hard in the company that they're already in for. Because when the going gets tough, you just jump ship to something else. I laugh when I see people that are on 3 different conventions in 1 year. For 3 different companies. You keep trying to build that way, it's going to take you forever. So plant your seed and let it grow. Stay consistent and work your business. It won't work unless you work it. I had a gentleman on my team. This was funny. This was last year. He joined the business. He called me up and said, "Brandon, you're going to retire off of me alone." How many times have you heard that one before? I'm the next superstar. And I say, "Great. Here's what you need to do. You need to plug into the system that we have." "Oh, no, Brandon. I got this. I got this. You don't know who I am. I'm going to blow you out the water." 2 months later, I get a phone call. I'm quitting the business. Not only did he say I'm quitting the business, I'm disappointed with the company. What? What do you mean you're disappointed with the company? The company did not deliver on what I expected it to deliver. I'm not making any money. And so I paused for a second and said, you were on fire when you signed up, but I haven't seen you on a presentation. I haven't seen you on a training. I haven't seen you on anything. No 3-way calls, no nothing. How many people do you have on your team? 1 person. Okay. How many people did you actually bring to a presentation? 1 person. So you're batting 1,000%. You're batting 100%. Why didn't you bring more people to a presentation? Well, I talked to people and they didn't want to hear about it. So my next question is, are there people in this business making money? The answer is yes. Are there people in this business that are able to bring people to a presentation? Yes. So what do you think they're doing different than you're doing? I don't know. Well, maybe if you showed up to a training, you might know. Maybe if you actually worked your business, it would work. I was listening to Tim Sales maybe about 2 hours ago. And he was real passionate on this subject. He was talking about people outside the industry who say, you have greater odds of making money in Vegas than you do in the network marketing business. And that's completely a play of words there. First and foremost, assuming that the only way you can make money in network marketing is based on odds or chance, based on getting lucky, based on hitting the right numbers. matter what you do, this is the only industry where actually the person who works the hardest makes the most money. Not the person who gets in first, not the person who recruits the best superstar. It's the person who puts in the most work. Has nothing to do with odds. Has nothing to do with race. Has nothing to do with gender. Has nothing to do with your background. I don't care. I had a phone call the other day with a gentleman who talked about how much he's done in the past. That means absolutely nothing, because I've seen people who have had 100,000 people on their team in one company join another company and they can't put 50 people in business. What is your work ethic about? And this goes for anything in life. You think you're going to join the Olympics and just step on the court and make things happen? Do you think you're going to get married and not work on your marriage and expect things to go perfectly? Do you think you're going to go to college and not work and expect to graduate? No matter what you do, you must work for it to work for you. You cannot expect to reap a harvest if you have not sowed any seed. You must put in some time if you want to get time. People ask me all the time, Brandon, how many hours should I put in a week in my business? That's a tricky question for me. I don't compute. I don't understand the question. I don't even understand the logic. Why? Because for me, it's when the job gets done. There is no timetable on freedom. If my goal is freedom, if my goal is to walk off my job, if my goal is to be able to do whatever I want, when I want, there's no timetable on how many hours I'm going to put in a week. Watching American Idol is not making me free. Watching LeBron James win, unfortunately, another NBA championship is not putting money in my pocket. Watching the news is not changing my life. See, when I started this business, and I was working a full-time job, I had to get up at 6 a.m., and I was on my job till 6 p.m. Didn't get home till 6:30 if I'm lucky because of traffic. Not only did I have to work the business, but I had to be the leader. We had to create the website, create the videos, do three-way calls, answer 1,000,001 irrelevant questions that everybody else wanted to know before they joined the business. Do the webinar presentations, do the trainings, and then once the East Coast finally went to sleep, have dinner and try to spend some time with my family at 10 o'clock Pacific Coast time. And then when that happened, go to building my own business. And I would do that till 3 a.m. And I would do that for 45 days straight. Sleep at 3 a.m., up at 6 a.m. for 45 days straight. The result was 5 figures a month and walking off my job. Because I wanted freedom. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of my current circumstances. I was sick and tired of getting up and going to work out or going to traffic. To go to a job that I don't like, to work with people I can't stand, to eat lunch at 12 when I'm hungry at 11. To ask for permission to go to the bathroom as if I am a child. To do this for 40 years of my life, knowing that I'm going to retire broke, depending on family, government, and friends. $800 a month Social Security is not going to cut it, and I was not going to be a Walmart greeter at the age of 70. That is not how I wanted my life to be. Missing lunch because you can't afford lunch break and you need lunch money to pay for gas just to get to work. Not being able to buy your kids presents on their birthday, you have to wait till payday. Running out of money, you still have 5 days left in the month. Anybody ever gone 2 weeks on $40 or more? There's a difference between being broke and poor. And I want you to understand this difference. Poor is a mindset. It's generational. It's habitual. It's never changing. Broke is a temporary position, because you can always change that by changing your mindset. So don't be frustrated or discouraged if you're currently broke, because just by shifting your mindset, you can change your current status almost overnight. The but you got to be willing to work for it. You can't pray and wish for a miracle, because prayer without works is ceasing. It's very important to have ignorance on fire, which is way better than intelligence on ice, aka paralysis of analysis. There's a company on Facebook right now that is blowing up right now, not because of intelligence, not because of analysis, but because everybody is excited and their ignorance on fire. When that starts to cool down and the analysis takes place, you will see a change. Unfortunately. But right now it doesn't matter. Ignorance on fire. Are you excited about what you're doing? It took me 4 or 5 months before I understood the compensation plan. I didn't care. I was like, I'll understand it when I get my checks. That was my mindset. I remember when I got started and other people said, I got to analyze this. I got to figure things out. 3 months later, one guy called me up. Brandon, I finally got it figured out. This is a great opportunity. I said, really? I walked off my job. When are you ready to get started? Don't let paralysis of analysis hold you back. Ignorance on fire. Start to develop the right mental attitude. Have long-term thinking. Treat your business like it's $1 million business, not a $100 business, not a $500 business, not a $1,200 business. Treat your business like it's $1 million business. I'm going to tell you one rule that rich people understand. They don't focus on the cost. They focus on how much they can make. They focus on the value. If somebody were to come up to me, April 2012, and said, Brandon, I'm going to tell you your future. If you sign up with this business on your 36th birthday, which is 3.5 months away, you will be able to walk off your job. Do you think I'd have a lot of value for the business if I knew what the end result was? And then, what if he told me, I guarantee you, if you sign up with this business, you will walk off your job July 13th, 2012. I guarantee it. And then he were to tell me, but it's going to cost you $10,000 to do so. Do you think I would have found the $10,000? You better believe it. You want to know why? Because walking off my job and having complete freedom is worth far more than $10,000. At the time, it only cost me $69. Do you think that was a good investment? $69, and 3.5 months later, I have complete financial freedom. See, you must focus on the long-term results, the value. Because there were people at that same time who had $69 stopped them from signing up because they had to pay their phone bill. They had to go to the movies. They had to buy that new purse. They had to have McDonald's 3 days a week or that coffee. It wasn't worth it to them because they couldn't see it. When you walk into a store, and you go to Beverly Hills, there are no price tags on any of the items. Because they already know, if you have to ask what the price is, you cannot afford it. And if you experienced that before, if you have to ask for the price, you can't afford it. If you're focusing on the cost, how much is it a month? How much does it cost to get started? I don't know if I can afford that, instead of thinking about, wow, if I enroll 3 people in the business, I just made $600. That's where your focus should be. Here's a tip on business. The first thing you need to always focus on is ROI, return on investment. How fast can I make my money back? No matter how much I pay to get started. You want to be in the black ASAP. I was in profit my first few hours in the business. I didn't sit down and wait. I didn't try to figure it out. See, a lot of people treat business like it's a lottery. a month, that's $1,200 a year. Can you afford, or are you willing to set aside $1,200 even if you didn't make a profit over the entire year? And 97% of you will say no. You're not willing to do it. That's why 3% have all the money. I'm only going off the statistics here, not each of you personally. I'm only going off the statistics. How long are you willing to work, even without making profit, and stay the course? I will guarantee you will never be financially free unless you're willing to make a commitment on that type of a level. Because it takes time to grow, and you have to change your mindset. So if it took you 35 years to have the current mindset you have right now, are you willing to give yourself some time to develop a new mindset? I'm going to tell you a scientific fact here about your brain. Your brain has what's called neuroperceptors, these neurons that connect brain cells, that decisions that you make travel along these neurons, positive and negative. Most of us think negatively, and it's very easy to think so. And we've been doing it for so long that brainstem is thick, it's hardened, it's thickest brainstems in your head right now. The negative side. It's easy to have negative thoughts. It comes like second nature, like water in a faucet. The hard thing to do is to have a positive thought, because you're not used to having positive thoughts. Therefore, the neurons in your brain are much smaller than the negative ones. So it takes more work. It's like a muscle. You got to work out that muscle over time. You don't see the result immediately. So just because you had a positive thought now doesn't mean your life has changed. You have to continue to do so. You have to train your brain to do so automatically. So eventually it will be bigger than the negative brain stem. I hope I'm making sense here. And for some of you, it won't. I've heard this before when I first heard this, and I didn't get it until 10 years later. You understand that? It took me 10 years to have my aha moment from the first time I started hearing this information at the age of 21. 10 years. Other people, it only took 2. Some people, it happened immediately. Some people, it takes 20 years. So don't take that it took me 10 years, that it's going to take you 10 years. You may get it far earlier than that. I'll tell you right now, I was one of the most egotistical and, what's the other word? Cocky people would be. I'm a Morehouse man. They teach us what God's gift to the planet. So it was hard for me to overcome that. It took me 10 years. Are you willing to go through that? Not saying it will take you 10. What's the most important things you can bring to your business? Work ethic, desire, commitment, be coachable, excitement. What is your work ethic? I already went over that. How much time are you willing to spend in your business? People tell me all the time, Brandon, I don't have a lot of time. I have a full-time job. I have a family. Well, you take the time that you have and be productive with it. And then you need to sit down and write out your day. What are you doing with your time? Because obviously, whatever it is you're currently doing is not working. The time that's taking up all your time, whatever events, is keeping you broke. So do you think you can substitute one of those events for something different that's actually going to put money in your pocket? Do you think you're willing to do that? Because I guarantee you sit down and go over your hours. How many of those hours are spent watching TV? How many of those hours are spent playing video games? Hey, that's a sore topic for me. I love video games. I grew up a Nintendo kid. A little bit Atari. To date myself. But what else are you spending your time doing? And is it productive? 30 minutes a day being productive is far better than 8 hours of watching TV. What is your desire? We already went over that. What is your commitment level? See, here's one thing that the internet has corrupted. I saw a movie the to everything, to every company out there that came up. You didn't have exposure, so you were able to focus on something. You were able to commit to something. But right now, most people are in the dating phase of their business. They're just dating their business. They want to put their toe in the water to see if it's, if it's warm. Let's see if this glove fits. I'll test you out for a little bit. I'll take you for a test drive. And if I'm not fully happy, I can kick you to the curb because there's another skirt walking down the street that looks better than you. And then once you're done with that one, once the excitement is all done, then you go find another skirt, aka another business. Right? Because people are dating their business. They're not willing to commit to it. Commitment means you're going to marry your business. Commitment means that you're going to continue to work your business long after the desire and excitement has left you. When you run into some bad times and you run into turkeys, you're married to your business. You don't fail on it. You learn to work through any problem issues. You come out stronger on the other end. And you have to. If you want to be a better business person, you have to go through these struggles. Because when you have a team and an organization, and somebody on your team comes with you with a problem, and you've never experienced it, what are you going to say? What can you teach? When you see a caterpillar emerging from its cocoon to become a moth, and you attempt to help it, the moth dies. Going through the stress of life gives you experiences, it makes you stronger. You have to be willing to go through the pain. Because it will make you a better person. That's why they always say you will fail your way to success. The most successful people out there is because they failed more times than everybody else. In our industry, it's cool to fail. It's cool to fail. I laugh at these jokers posting up checks and money on the internet and making fun of you because you're not where they are yet. They have a short-term lifespan in this industry. You must fail your way to success. You must marry your business. Like the video that I made, why am I still here? It doesn't mean you go down with the ship. It means that you work through the problems to become better. And if the ship is going in a different direction than you need to go, then yeah, you need to get on another ship. You need to find yourself a better vehicle. You have to be coachable. That's another hard thing that's hard, especially for men. Especially for men with egos. You can't tell them nothing. They're the first people that aren't coachable, and then when things don't go their way, they're the first ones to blast you and your business publicly in an attempt to make themselves look better. I don't have time to tell the story, but you guys may have heard of it before when I first joined my first company at ACN. And my upline told me exactly what to do, and I didn't follow them. I'll give you the brief rundown. They said you need to have a grand opening, or back then we called it PBR, private business reception. You need to make a list of everybody that you know, call us up, and we will call them on three-way. And I was like, have you lost your mind? My people don't know you. I'm not putting them on the phone with you. They know me. I'm going to tell them what it's about. By the way, I had a party at my house last week. I invited 40 people and 100 showed up. So these are college kids. If I tell them that we're having a business meeting, all these kids are about to graduate, of course they're going to be here. I had a couple of Spelman girls running around, not just the ABC, but all over the city, putting flyers all over the place. This was the first and last time I ever did flyers. Not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just telling you my own experience. Greenbrier Mall, Flips Plaza, Linux, the Underground, everywhere. We had flyers all over the place. Morris Brown, Atlanta University, Spelman, Morehouse, even Georgia Tech. And on the day of my private business reception, they told me, just get chips and water. Oh, I had a buffet delivered. I had chairs delivered. showed up. 4 people. Me, my roommate, my sponsor, and the person who was giving the presentation. 4 people showed up. And you know the first thing that popped in my head? This thing doesn't work. This business doesn't work. No, I didn't think that I didn't follow the instructions, that I failed. I said that the business failed. And I was like, I might as well quit right now. That was the first thought. But then my ego kicked in. I never really failed at anything in life at that point. I knew that if I worked hard at something, I would always succeed. And here I was willing to quit. How could I live with myself? I could never look back and admit, hey, I quit. I didn't make it happen. My ego didn't. So I said, you know what, let me listen to what these guys are saying. I followed what they said and I got promoted to the first position within the next week. I learned my lesson. Coachable. And be excited about what you do. If you're not excited about what you do, how can you expect somebody else to be excited as well? It's not possible. It's not going to happen. Think of movie trailers. That movie trailer for Pacific Rim, right? My 14-year-old, he saw that, his eyes were bugged out about it. He was excited. It was exciting. It was thrilling looking. He had to see it. But what if they came out with a trailer that didn't show any robots? They were bored. It was a boring trailer. No exciting music behind it. No thrill behind it. He wouldn't have said he wanted to see it. He doesn't know what the movie is. It's just a preview. You are a walking preview of your business. You're a preview of your business. And if you're not giving off an exciting vibe about it, nobody's going to want to pay their attention to see the rest. Are you excited about what you're doing? Oh wow, since I saw that news in Texas, it's kind of hard showing the slide. But not just business, but life is an emotional roller coaster. Don't make your highs too high and your lows too low. Always understand that some will, some won't, some wait, so what next? What does it mean? Well, when you're in business, you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. Good days and bad days. You want to keep yourself on a even emotional keel. When great things happen, don't get too excited about it. For example, you join the business. 1 week later, you sign up somebody who says they're going to make you rich. They put 200 people in the business the very next week. You're already thinking about walking off your job. You're already thinking about how much money you're going to make and all the things you're going to buy. And then a week later, somebody says, I woke up and 200 people walk off. They leave and they take all their people with them. What happened to that dream and fantasy of walking off your job? What happened to that dream of buying all the things you wanted to? Now you went from a super high to almost depression zone, right? And then you start doubting yourself. You start doubting the business. It gets too hard. You don't want to feel like that again. So to save ourselves, we take ourselves out of the situation so that we can never feel that way. It's a self-defense mechanism. You may not even realize that your brain is thinking that. Don't get too excited and don't get upset when something happens. I guarantee, every single one of you, sometime in your career, you will lose the best person on your team. Right? I guarantee it. But here's something I want you to know. The most important person that you will ever recruit is you. The most reliable hand is the one at the end of your own wrist. I promise you that. And if somebody quits, so what? Next? Who's next? Let's talk about the character quadrant, or I don't know why I never changed this slide. Personality traits. So when you're out there building a business, and this doesn't have to deal with business. This deals with life. When you're dealing with people, power suits on. They're the ones that love the money. They're the ones that love to be on stage. They love to be seen and heard. They've got the killer instinct. They can smell blood or money in the water. That's what motivates them. If you are a shark or you know a shark, type that name in the chat box. Sharks. Then you have the whales. Who are the whales? Nobody knows the shark? Nobody's typed anything in the chat box. Then you have the whales. Whales are people who care about other people. They're motivated by helping others. Whales, you just look at their profession. Nurses, doctors, community activists, ministers, deacons, non-profit organizations. They're not motivated by money. They're motivated by being helpful to other people. That's what matters most. If you are a whale or you know a whale, type that name in the chat box for whales. What's the difference between a whale and a shark? Let's say you approach a whale and you tell them, hey, you got to join my business. Did you know you can make $600 in your first 30 days? Did you know that, just 12 people are going to pay you $2,400? Did you know that? A whale's going to look at you like you lost your mind. They're not going to want to have nothing to do with you. That doesn't get them excited. If you go to a shark, you tell the shark, hey, you got to join this business. We're helping people save money on services they're already using. We're changing people's lives. We're walking people off their job. So, you gonna walk me off my job? Sharks aren't motivated by that. Then you've got a dolphin. Dolphins love to have fun. This was my sister. When I joined ACM back in the day, my sister was, I think, 17 years old. And I came back from college and I was on my way to NYU. She saw me getting dressed, putting on a suit. She's like, well, where are you going? I'm going to a business. She was bored. Can I come? Sure. Get dressed, come on. We go on down to, I can't remember the name of that hotel. Anyway, it's on Century Boulevard down here in LA. Right across the street from the airport. And we walk into the room. My sister's eyes bugged out. Music was playing. She's very sensitive to like vibrations and stuff. She can tell a negative vibe and a bad vibe from people and a positive real quick. She's very sensitive to that energy stuff. And she felt it the moment she walked in the room. All these people smiling, hugging each other, patting each other on the backs. They have suits on, they're suited and booted, talking about making money and traveling, talking about the next convention was in Atlanta, Georgia, and she couldn't wait to get her little butt in Atlanta, Georgia, hearing all the stories that I was talking about being in Atlanta. She couldn't wait to get there. At the end of the presentation, she said, where do I sign up? She didn't even know the name of the company and didn't care. All she wanted to do, it was about having fun. She couldn't wait till the next convention. Her and her girlfriends could go showing out, go shopping for new outfits. Couldn't wait to go to different clubs in different cities. Couldn't wait to meet new men in different cities. She didn't care about making money. She didn't care about helping other people. She just wanted to have fun. Now, the older you get, you can't live life that way because you got to pay the bills. But you still have a dominant trait. If you're not having fun, I don't care how much money you're making, you're out the door. Then you have the urchins. Oh, I can't stand the urchins. The urchins are the bane of my existence. The urchins take up 90% of my day. Urchins want to know all of the facts. They won't move a muscle until they know what's going on. What's the background of the company? When did the company get started? Is the company BBB be approved. I want to see the business plan of the company. What's the social security number of the owner? What is the exact megawatts of the electricity usage? What's the name of the person in customer service? I mean, 9 times out of 10 is irrelevant questions that you need to know for you to be successful in the business. But an urchin operates a certain way. They think a certain way. How do you expect me to talk to other people about this business if I don't even know about it? I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to look like I'm not going to pay money on something I don't know what's taking place. And there's nothing wrong with that. They just take forever to make a decision. They've got to do 1,000,001 extra research after you give them all the information. A lot of merchants ask questions just to ask a question. Just because they want to know if you know the answer to their question. Yet they feel better after they make a decision. They know at least they got to ask all the questions so they don't feel like they got robbed. But let me tell you what happens to an urchin. Urchins end up making the most money. Urchins end up making more money than everybody because an urchin turns into a shark. Because now they know all the facts. They did their research. They're 100% convinced and committed to what they're doing. So if some joker comes to them about a new company, they're going to laugh at them and say, I think you need to take a look at this one. They're not going to jump ship. They're more committed and they last long term. Urchins make the most money. If you know anyone that's a dolphin or an urchin, type your name in the chat box. I see people say that I'm a shark. I've seen a lot of people say that I'm actually a whale. I had a company offer me $150,000 to join their company. The only reason why I said no was because I knew that the people that I brought on board weren't going to make any money. $150,000 would have been great for me, but it would have been bad for my team. I will do for others before I do for myself. I have a part of every personality trait. I know how to talk as an urchin. I know how to talk as a dolphin. I know how to talk as a whale. I know how to talk as a shark. You may be dominant in one, but you want to have all of them. You want to know why? Because when you're having a conversation with something, all you have to do is ask them a couple of questions. It only takes me 30 seconds to figure out what dominant personality trait a person is. Now I know how to talk to them about my business. I know how to approach them without them being offended. I know how to get them to ask me, what is it that I do? People like to buy, they don't like to be sold. Feel, felt, found approach. Those of you who I've taught you how to brand yourself making videos, what do I always say? Make a video about who you are. Make another video about why you're doing what you're doing and what company. And the next video, make a video of you actually doing a presentation. That is actually the feel, felt, found. I'll do that on the next training. More detail about that. Positives up, negatives down. That means if you have an organization and you're feeling bad, don't go to your downline talking negative about your experience or the company. You always take it to your upline. Vent up, not down. Bring positives to your downline. However, there's another meaning to this. If you think negatively all the time, guess what you're going to attract to you? Negativity. Right? If you think positive all the time, what are you going to attract to you? Positivity. I'm going to give you an example. A lot of people like it when I do this. Here's an example. We all know a woman. We all know a woman who has always been in a bad relationship. Pay close attention to what I say here. And don't get offended by what I'm about to say. And no matter what boyfriend she's had, she seems to always have the same guy, just with a different name. Same type of personality. And finally, a friend may say, you know, have you ever thought that it might be you? Maybe you need to go to counseling. counselor and asked the counselor, yeah, I'm always in bad relationships. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I keep attracting all these bad men. She knows, she said that word, attracting. We all know this, we just don't think we know this. The power of that word, attraction. So the counselor asks a question, and the counselor says, well, let me ask you, what is it that you want in a man? Hear the words there. What is it that you want in a man? And she says, well, I want a man who doesn't treat me bad, who doesn't disrespect me, who doesn't stay out all night, go drinking with the boys and end up cheating on me, and then says he doesn't remember, who doesn't do drugs. I want a man who doesn't verbally and physically abuse me. I want a man who doesn't disrespect me in front of my children. I want a man who doesn't make me feel like the S word. Now, when you look back on what she just said, she's absolutely correct. Who in their right man wants a man like that, right? It sounds good. She probably has that same conversation with her girlfriends every single night. But the universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't work in negatives. She didn't answer the question. The question was not what you don't want in a man. The question is, what do you want in a man? If she flips her thinking and says, you know what? I want a man who treats me good. I want a man who respects me. I want a man who comes home and enjoys spending time with me and not hanging out with guys like that. I want a man who treats me good in front of my kids. I want a man who loves me. I want a man who makes me feel special. I want a man who I feel safe with. Do you see the difference? There's a huge difference in the two things. She's walking around thinking the negative instead of walking around thinking the positive. It's working for your business the same way. And the moment she flips that thinking, all of a sudden she's going to start to attract a different kind of man. Because the man that she would like to have, she's blocking. That good guy, she has no room for because that's not what she's projecting. That's not what she's thinking about. How are you currently thinking about your business right now? Are you thinking about what you don't have? Are you thinking about how much it costs? Are you thinking about the people on your team not doing anything? Or are you doing the opposite? Again, focus on the goal and not the task. You must see yourself as an RVP or the top position of whatever company you're in. See yourself as the top. Perception becomes reality. At the very beginning of this training, I said that when the mind is right, facts don't matter. See, a lot of people out there are doing what's called fake it until you make it. I don't believe in faking it until you make it. I do believe in acting as if. I am a regional vice president and the top producer of my company, and I've always been the top producer of every company I've been in over the last couple of years. Did I start thinking this way after I became an RVP? No, I thought this way the day I signed up in the business. I acted like I owned the freaking company. Act as if. I was just waiting for the title to come on to verify it. But in my mind, I was already there, and I acted like it, and people could feel that off me. If you act that way, act like a millionaire. Don't act like you're broke. You may not have money in the bank account, but what does that have to do with how you act? You will start to attract the right people. Here's another assignment for you. Go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and ask yourself this question. Would I sign up with you? And be honest with yourself. If you lie to yourself, you are really in trouble. There's nobody in that bathroom but you and yourself. Would you sign up with you? And if the answer is no, it's okay. Now you know your starting point. The next thing you do is find out why. Why would you not sign up with you? What traits do you need to have for you to be attractive enough for you to sign up with yourself? Now you know what to work on. The answer was no when I asked myself that question. Why is it important? Because if you're out there looking for the superstar, guess what? Superstars don't hang out with losers. Successful people don't hang out with failures. Wealthy people don't hang out with broken poor people. You know what Henry Ford said? One of the richest men in the world ever? If I lost all my money, the first thing that I would do is go hang out with wealthy people and let that energy vibe and rub off on me. Birds of a feather flock together. Now you know what to work on. Do not be in the pursuit of success. Be in the pursuit of being attractive. Because if you are attractive, you will attract other attractive people. If you are a superstar, you will sign up other superstars. It's not luck, it's not habit, and if the odd chance that you're not a superstar and you do sign up one, it will not last. The universe will make sure of that. Think of people who win the lottery. 70 to 80% of them go broke after 10 years. You want to know why? They never learned the skills necessary to become a millionaire. And once that money was dropped on them, they definitely didn't have the skills necessary to keep it. And most of them will tell you, they wish they never won the lottery. What? What do you mean you wish you never won the lottery? Because they find out something about money. Money is not the be-all and end-all of life. Money is just energy. Money is just a resource. It is a resource that allows you to do things. The more money you have, the more you can do. And people who have a bad mindset and a broke mindset, when all of a sudden they have money, it just brings out the bad habits and human nature that they have that made them broke. And it just highlights it. Because now they don't have a job. Now they don't have they can focus on their inequalities or inequities. And they go end up worse off in life than they were before. Why is it that sports athletes go broke 3 to 5 years after they walk away from the game? And you can name player after player after player after player. What was the latest one that was in the news? Besides Antoine Walker? How about Allen Iverson? A man who made $170 million in his career, and they said he was broke. The only thing that is saving him is that when he came in the league, they made him in a contract put a certain percentage aside that he can't touch till he's 55. So when he turns 55, he still has $30 million. But you have a guy that walks around talking about, I don't like packing my clothes. I'm going to buy a new outfit on every road trip. Didn't manage his money very well. He didn't have the right mindset. Thought the money was going to keep coming forever. When you have the right mindset, you can create money out of thin air. You can make money when there's nothing there to take you. Because your mind is right. Perception becomes reality. How do you currently perceive yourself right now? And what are you doing about it? I will tell you my aha moment. I have a little bit of time on this. My aha moment came a couple of years ago. Listening to some training. I listened to Your Wish Is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau, and I read a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Those two things combined gave me my aha moments. Success is not in doing certain things, it's doing things in a certain way. Two individuals can have the same exact experience. One walk away broke and another walk away rich. Why? Because one did things in a certain way or responded to things in a certain way. See, all of us go through life looking at life through a magnifying glass. And in this magnifying glass is your reality. But that's not the entire universe. You're just looking at it through a magnifying glass, your little piece of the world. But everything is connected. Everything. You, your neighbor, somebody across the globe, what somebody does in a different state that you don't even know has an impact on your life. 6 degrees of separation. People may pray that they want a better job, right? And they're praying and praying for a better job, and then they get laid off of their job, and the average person gets upset. Lord, I prayed for a better job, and I got laid off. Now I'm in a worse situation. There's two ways to look at this. One, yeah, you can look at it as you're in a worse situation, or number two, wow, getting laid off was just a precursor of a better opportunity coming my way, that if I had that job, I wouldn't have been able to be a part of that opportunity. If I didn't get laid off, I wouldn't have become a millionaire. I wouldn't have had the motivation to go out there and do more than what I was currently doing. Not everything that happens to you is a negative. It's just an event. How you respond to that event makes all the difference. There's a reason why wealthy people make a lot of money in a good economy and then make even more money in a bad economy. Because when everybody's panicking, everybody's losing their mind, everybody's thinking negative in a bad economy, the wealthy are swooping in and stealing your piece of the pie. Because they respond to it differently. They understand the law of the universe. That one action means that there's another action that needs to follow it up. They may not know what it is. See, I was going through life through my magnifying glass based on what my own experiences are. For example, I wanted to make $10,000 by the end of the year. But looking at my current life, looking at my magnifying glass, there was no way possible that was going to happen. I was working a job at the time. How was that going to happen? I'm not going to make an extra $10,000 on our job. They just cut our Christmas bonus and said nobody's getting a raise, and that we're just lucky to have a job in the first place. The team that I had at my home-based business wasn't doing anything. In fact, some of them were quitting. There's no way I'm going to make this $10,000. Because I'm looking through my own life with my own magnifying glass. It's like looking at an anthill with a magnifying glass. You may only be able to see 20 to 30 ants, but there's hundreds, if not thousands of ants in that colony. All working for the benefit that's going to affect all the rest of the ants. But you don't see what's going on outside the magnifying glass. This is when the Bible talks about having vision without sight. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean things aren't taking place. It just may not be the way you want it, and you have to let go. You have to put those things in God's hands. Not worry about that. Focus on the goal and not the task. And that was hard for me to give that up. And I decided to focus on the goal. What was my goal? $10,000 a month. I didn't care about how it was going to happen. All I knew was that I need to have $10,000. When Donald Trump makes a decision, do you think about he thinks about the how? No, I'm going to build a casino. I made the decision. Now let's go and worry about how it's going to happen. I already made the decision. It's already a done deal. Now one way or another it's going to happen. That's how wealthy people think. They don't think about the how before they make a decision. Broke people think about how they're going to do it before they make a decision. Is it going to be easy? Am I going to run through obstacles? Will people turn me down? If they're going to turn me down, I'm not going to do it. That's what most broke people look at. Can I afford $99 next month? I don't know. Instead of thinking about, man, I can make $5,000 this month, so $90 is not an issue. Is the glass half full or half empty? So I gave it up. I gave away the control and just focused on the how. Now, here's something that's even more important than that. To make this work is like you can have a car, but if you don't have a battery, it's not going to go anywhere. Here's the battery to fuel your engine. How do you feel knowing that your goal has been accomplished? When I was a kid, I used to get sick. My mom would say, pray to God and pray and give thanks. Thanksgiving, be thankful for Him healing you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not healed yet. No, you have to be thankful because He's going to heal you. So be thankful that He healed you. And you go to sleep thinking about how thankful you are that the Lord healed you. Maybe better. Now I'm a kid. I'm like, that's backwards. The past backwards. What do you mean be thankful? How about this? He heals me, and then I'll be thankful because He healed me. No, we got to have proof first. You got to see it first. Show me your bank account. Show me your back office before I sign up. Look, how much money are you making? Don't worry about how much money I'm making. How much money can you make? My work ethic is not yours. That's how most people think. They got to see truth first before they can believe that it's possible. You ever want to know if somebody has a broke mindset? You know by their actions, or they ask these questions. How much does it cost? How much do I have to pay every single month? Are you making any money? Is anybody else making any money? That's a broke mindset. They always want to be a follower. You think Bill Gates waited for somebody to do something first? You think Steve Jobs waited for somebody to do something first? You think that Walt Disney waited for Magic Mountain to open up before he decided, maybe I can make a theme park? One reporter said when Walt Disney died, because he died before Disneyland opened up, and he told his son, isn't it a shame that Walt died before this park is here? He didn't get a chance to see it. And his son said, no, you're wrong. It's because he saw this is why the park is here in the first place. He saw it before it happened. What did Jim Rome say all the time before? Before you start your day, already have it planned out. Before you start your week, already see how the week is going to end. And this is something I struggle with. I got to work on. Plan out my week beforehand. Have it done before I even flip to the page. It's all in the mind. And I let go, and next thing you know, I had the $10,000. And it happened in ways I had no idea. I couldn't even see coming. When I joined this current company, I joined in April, but when I made my New Year's resolution in January, I had no idea I was going to be in this company that was going to walk me off my job in 7 months. I had no idea. All I knew is that I was walking off my job in 2012. That's all I knew. I didn't know how, and I didn't care. But I thought about how does it make me feel. It felt freaking awesome, even though it didn't happen. If you go back and look at my 1-year anniversary video, I made a 6-month anniversary video where I sat at this park. When I was on my job, during my break time, I would walk down a couple of blocks to this park. And I was always listening. I had headphones on. And people thought I was always listening to music. And I wasn't listening to music. I was listening to Jim Rome, Tony Robbins, Kevin Trudeau, Les Brown, motivational stuff. And I would dream. I would sit on that bench, and I would pretend like I'm a millionaire. And I would think about how it felt to be a millionaire. And I would try to capture and hold that feeling as hard as possible, as long as possible. Because your brain only knows what you feel. Your brain doesn't understand logic. It doesn't care about the facts. The facts are whatever you make it to be. Two people can get rejected by the same woman. One man goes home rejected. Another man thinks of another way to approach that woman so he doesn't get rejected again. The same event happens, but both of them decided a different way on how they're going to respond to that event. And the other man ends up marrying this woman. then when the 30 minutes or an hour was up, I would open my eyes and walk right back to my job. And I told myself one day, I'm going to walk back to my car wherever and go wherever I want to go. And the day came, I walked off my job. And 6 months later, I went back to that same park and shot a video. I said, I'm here because 6 months ago when I was on a job, I imagined myself being here. I wasn't thinking about my job, I was thinking about being free. And it was a reality. A week and a half ago, I went back to that same park and I shot a video. So look it up on YouTube, my 1-year anniversary. I didn't feel good after it happened, knowing that now I get off this park bench, I can go wherever I want and then start to feel it. I felt it before it happened, and that's why it came true. I'm giving you a multi-billion-dollar lesson here that most motivational speakers don't speak about, and they don't speak about it on purpose. The whole reason behind it. They will only tell you some of the truth, not all of it. They will tell you to think about your goal, but they won't tell you to imagine how does it feel, because that's the source. Like, remember the movie The Secret? Rhonda Byrne? Just think about what you want. There's a key missing ingredient in that. How does it feel to have it? She left that out. Oh, she knows it, but she left it out. He had millions of people who sat around all day thinking about what they wanted. It didn't happen. This bogus. This doesn't work. Thinking about something. When Napoleon Hill released Think and Grow Rich, it's a watered down version of the real thing. Because the true version, when it hit the shelves, Henry Ford and all the rest had a heart attack. Here he is telling all the secrets. And there's 2 words in that book that he had that got them upset. Vibration, right? The word vibration and law of attraction. And the feeling. So, Napoleon Hill went to 2 or 3 versions before it went back on the shelves. So, the most popular book out there on that right now is a watered down version of the truth. It is like you're watching a preview of the real movie. By watching the preview or you see the whole movie, you know you're just getting glimpses of it. That's what a lot of motivational speakers today do. Just giving you glimpses of it. You have to do your own research at this point. Even the training that I'm giving you, I'm just giving you a glimpse of the other side. You have to go out and do your own study to get the rest. I'm just opening the door so that you can peek through it. To know that there's another side. That the 3% understand. It was a long time before my mentors even taught me this stuff. Because they said I wouldn't understand it at the time. I had to go through certain steps first. Before they started teaching me this stuff. But the light bulb went on. And I just let it go. I know right now, without a shadow of a doubt, I will be a multi-millionaire because I know what it feels like to do so. How about you? What is your perception? And what is your reality? 2 people in my company at the same position, both go through the same exact thing. One person clips and makes a video talking about how broke the company is and doesn't work and this and that. The other one stays here and makes another 20 grand. What's the difference? Perception is reality. That's right, Tony. It's all about mindset. What is your mindset? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking around as long as you have. I told you there was no time limit on tonight. Those of you on the East Coast, it's coming up to midnight. And I'll be respectful of your time tonight. I got out everything that I didn't know what I was going to say tonight. But I can feel that I already said everything that I'm supposed to. So I'm not going to prolong it any longer. I will let you know that I did record this. And I'll have it up on recording. It's probably going to have to be in 2 parts, YouTube. I haven't tested that allow me to upload maybe an hour and 10 or 15 minutes worth. So I'll split this up in two parts, but here's the next step. What is the next half of 2013 going to look like? What is your reality over the next 6 months? Will you have the greatest Christmas that you've ever had in life? And that all depends on what you do right now. And with over 6,000 people on my team, and only have about 50 people on this training, you just set yourselves apart from everybody else. Because if everybody that's on my team says they want to make the type of money that I make, yet they're not willing to learn the same information that I know, what does that tell you? Now you understand why there's only 97% of the people that are broke and only 3% that have the money. Like Bill Jackson said during the Chicago Bulls game, the other team knows that at the end of the day, Michael Jordan is getting the ball. They know we're going to run the triangle offense and that Michael Jordan is getting the ball. And it doesn't matter if they know the playbook. We know how to execute, and we will still win 6 championships. I mean, think about that, guys. After the first championship, yeah, maybe you can get away with that. But fool me twice, maybe he's just too good. But a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth time, you know exactly what's going to happen, and the entire league still can't stop it. It's because he knows how to execute. Are you executing in your business? Or are you a poser? You want something, but you're not willing to do the work that it takes to get it. You want financial freedom, but you're too busy on a Saturday night to hear information that's actually going to put fuel in your tank. This information is far more important than actually sitting and watching a presentation on a company. Now I also understand that back 6 months ago I did a mindset training and I put it up on Facebook, and one of my old mentors came on. He's a 7-figure earner. Makes like $300,000 to $400,000 a month in just one of his businesses. And he hopped on. He contacted me after. You know what he said to me? This is a millionaire. He said, Brandon, why are you telling those people that information? I said, what? He said, why are you sharing that information with them? 97% of them is going to go in one ear and out the other, and those are the ones who had enough sense even to get on the presentation. They're not going to get it. And I said, you know, I see what you're saying, because you didn't give me that information up front, but here's what I like to say. Nobody at the end of the day can say that I haven't given them the information. I don't want to be known as those guys that know a whole lot of stuff and don't want to share it with anybody. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink it. He said, okay, but personally, you're just wasting your time, and that can be time spent building another company. That's what he said to me. That you spend 2 hours, you could be doing something else. But the well in you comes out. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to implement this information? So thank you guys for joining us. My name is Brandon Ivey, Regional Vice President of vitel, owner of Niche Marketing and Advertising. 6 months left in this 6 months left in this year, 2013. If you haven't achieved the goals that you set aside at the beginning of this year, you still have time. The next mindset training, I don't know, another month from now, we'll see. But thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your night, and remember the assignment that I gave you before you go to sleep tonight. What would you do in your life if you had everything that you wanted? How does it make you feel? And see a difference when you wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to do the same thing tonight. And of course, I'm going to end with my favorite video. Pull it up here. My favorite video of the month. Next month, it'll be a new video. Have a good night. Those of you on my team, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a very important team call. Very important. I'm up. I'm the one doing it. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, make sure all of your team is on this call. For those of you who want to get to, I don't know, you can make an extra $100,000 by the end of the month. I mean, by the end of the year. An extra 40 grand. How would that affect you? How about an extra $30,000 by the end of the year? We're going to talk about that. So God bless. Good night. Here's the video. Bye-bye.
So you want to get a degree. Why? Let me tell you what society will tell you. It increases your chances of getting a job, provides you with an opportunity to be successful. Your life will be a lot less stressful. Education is the key.